This tutorial is to teach you how to set up a music video that you've already shot. It's where you can synchronize all your footage together. It makes it much easier to edit your music videos when you're doing things. Instead of you having to sync up every clip every time you drag it in, it's all synced and it's all in place straight away. You just open Premiere and set it up as you would normally and input the footage, which I've already done in this area up here. And the first thing you need to do is make a sequence. So if you just go File, New Sequence, and then make sure your camera settings are correct. This will depend on the camera you've used, and you'll see the problem I'll have in a second. What you need to make sure you do is drag each piece onto the timeline. Try and leave a bit of a gap on this side so you're not doing it. So if this comes up, just click Change Sequence Settings and you'll be okay. And then just drag each clip using the audio, so this bottom one here. When you drag, don't just drag the video in, drag the audio in, because you're going to have problems with a few clips. If you need to expand your timeline, do so. So drag it. You see how it won't drag in here? That's because this is a 5.1 timeline. The way of solving that is right click or control click in there, click delete tracks, click in the delete audio tracks and all empty tracks, and it'll close everything up, which just makes it a little simpler. And just drag each one above each other. So you'll then have this sort of setup. Last thing you need to do is drag in the actual audio track of the actual finished piece. Once you've done all that, highlight everything, right click, and then there's the synchronize button in the middle. Click on this, and you want it to do it from audio. Click on mix down. It just means that that's coming from both channels, which you don't really need to worry about. I would just suggest always doing it from mix down, and click OK. And this can take quite a while. So if you click OK and it's not doing anything for a while, don't worry about it. Once that's completed, as you can see, all the clips are moved about and it should now all be pretty much synchronized. If you play it, which will sound awful, you'll be able to hear it should be all synchronized when it shouldn't sound different. Which it does. If you want to, you can tidy up all the tracks so it's from the beginning of the actual track. So just bring it to there, and then I would suggest just cutting down so everything starts from the beginning of the actual track. That is entirely up to you. If you want to do that, you can leave all the mess there if you want, and then if you want to bring everything back, click in a space and push backspace. Next thing you need to do is you've got loads of different audio tracks on, mute them all, otherwise you're going to have problems later on when it be sounding terrible. Now what you've got, if you have a look up here, is you should have
You can't keep my name.
The video synced to the actual proper recording that they've done. So what I would suggest you do is you need to find what clip you want to start with. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be using 15 to start. You might want to start with 13 or 7, 6. I would suggest double clicking through a couple of the clips and finding where you want to start. So let's say we're going to start with this clip. Now those of you who know Premiere quite well, anything on top will show through. So if you play it along, and you can just drag top clips away. If you don't want to do that, you can also just go to the cut tool, cut down each, go back to the pointer tool, highlight the 3 you've selected, push delete. And what you can do now is if I play it and I'll let you have a look, you can see that it'll play clip 6 first.
You can't keep my name out of your mouth. You can't get my face out of your head.
And then obviously as soon as the clips here are on top again, it will go to the next clip. All you really need to do is, when you're editing, just work out what parts of the clip that you do and don't want. So let's say that this bit where they start getting a bit louder, you then want to cut to the drummer. All you have to do is again cut all the way up. I want the drummer to be on screen for a few seconds. And I would suggest zooming in on your timeline. You can just push plus on your keyboard or come down to here and zoom in and out. Again, highlight the clips you want to delete. So now the opening will go from this, which is a fisheye lens.
That's why your mate's all sad.
And you just cut around. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a bit of cutting and I'll speed it up so you guys can see how it all sort of roughly goes together, and then you can see how your timeline should roughly look. I only want you to do about a minute's worth. If you want to go up to, I think the maximum you can go to just under 1 minute 30, you can do an experiment. I'd like to just see you try this out. It is a much easier way of making music videos compared to trying to sync every individual clip up all the time. Tips to when you're recording it live: make sure that you record the actual live track in the background. So if I go to a clip that we've already done, don't know why I said already done, a clip that I've recorded, and just show you the live audio. What I've done is I've played on a PA behind them a very loud version of their finished recorded track, which is the track that's included at the bottom of the timeline. Obviously make sure that your microphone is on, and if possible you can make your own version of their finished track, and you can have a bleep or a clapper sound within it, which will help when you're sort of trying to sync everything up, just in case it doesn't work, which it can do. So if you listen to this, I've put in the loud beep, and because I was playing it through television just due to the music video, I also put a countdown timer as well in, just so we can visually see everything.
You can't keep my name out of your...
So that's how I would suggest when you're recording it you do. Okay? So just to give you an idea, your timeline will look something like this. There'll be lots of gaps and unusual bits, and just it'll look kind of messy to the eye, but what I want you to see is as it plays through just how this actually works. So it's not the best edit, that's just quickly to show you how it works. Once you've edited everything together, then you can colour grade it. You could do that by just adding an adjustment layer. If you've shot everything in the same location, this is easy. If you've obviously shot it in different locations, it makes it much, much harder.